All this week we've been talking about the zones of incompetence, competence, excellence, and yesterday we talked about the zone of genius. I want to let you know that these are not my original concepts by any stretch. These are all in a book called The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I was introduced to this book by my friend, coach, and mentor, Cliff Ravenscraft. Actually, it was on a podcast episode, and he mentioned what was the transformations that was going on in his life because of this. After watching and listening, him going through that and us having conversations, I'm actually now engaged in a coaching relationship with him. And so I'm part of his next level mastermind and has been making as big of impact in my life as that shift has made in his life. And so I wanted to pay it forward a little bit and pass along some of this wisdom and knowledge too. And there'll be a link in the video description here on how you can get that book by Gay Hendricks. It's an Amazon link. The 4 zones are really important, and I wanted to give out some real world examples of some things in my life that live in these zones, and you'll see why this all plays together here. So first off, there's the zone of incompetence. Again, this is things that probably not skilled at or gifted at. Things that you might be able to learn, but the honest truth is it wouldn't be of the world's benefit or your benefit to do. Major things like building a house or, putting a transmission in a car, things like that you probably could figure out how to do, but they're not in your immediate skill set and probably not great to do. I list accounting in here because I never learned to do it properly, and I've skated by every single year. My accountant will tell you that. And it's not of my benefit to do that. So these are things that are obviously good to delegate, like I do for my, I just hand a bunch of junk to my accountant with a tear in my eye and even more tears in his eye and say, I'm sorry, here it is. That's my zone of incompetence. The zone of competence, I mentioned this is where a lot of us spend a lot of our time. I wouldn't necessarily say this is always focused time. A lot of times the efforts that are going on here are very small little things. Like I mentioned, like sending an email, following up with someone, or scheduling appointments, or booking travel, or whatever. Those kind of things are in my life anyway. Those are the kind of things that I could say are in my zone of competence, and I'm actually very good at for a lot of them. But they're not really something that lights me up. I don't get excited about booking my next trip. Sorry to all of you that I've spent time going to visit professionally or otherwise. I'm just fatigued with travel. I'm fairly good at doing so, but it's just fatiguing. So it's not something I get excited about. It's something I would much rather delegate if I was given the means. This also goes for things like yard care and things like that. Now, here's the thing. I want to say this before I get to the next zone. When it comes to the zone of incompetence and the zone of competence being things that you should try and delegate, that's exactly the point, is that the people that may enjoy doing those kind of things may get a lot of satisfaction out of doing those things and may benefit from those kind of things. And so those are great things to do. So in my case, I have a virtual assistant, and she spends time with me every week taking on tasks that either I could do and just would rather delegate so we can move forward faster, or other things that make sense for me to delegate because there's in my zone of incompetence and there are in her zone of competence, excellence, or even genius. There are people out there that have a zone of excellence or a zone of genius for, I believe, everything that we don't have a zone of excellence for. So that's just like a little pointer there, is to always look at that as not a shortcoming of yourself, but a way to bring another person's talents to the forefront. Okay, let's move on. The zone of excellence. This is where I say the money is, because this is something where in my life, especially as a professional IT consultant, this is where I've been able to shine. This is where I've been able to do things that are good paying activities. Consulting work is especially a great example of this, of things that are really good paying activities. It's reliable. It's something that I can fall back on very easily. It is a concept in The Big Leap, falling back into the incorrect zone. But a lot of times, if it's quick money, if it's just a falling back to a kind of a safe place, a lot of times the zone of excellence is where you end up. I will say that I've spent the last few years being known as a guy that knows technology, that is known for that sort of thing. And part of several groups like the Citrix Technology Advocates, for example, in the professional world, that this has been my kind of identity. This summer, I realized that there was another level above that. I realized that these kind of things are still things that I'm not unique in. I'm not uniquely qualified to be a CTA. I'm not uniquely qualified to be a consultant. I'm not even uniquely qualified to do a lot of the things that I've done on my blog and writings and recordings and things like that. Other people could do the same things, generally speaking. The zone of genius is where time stands still, where it's just you're outside of the norm. You're doing things that you could do all day and not get tired. You're doing the kind of things that I say light you up. This is why I love coaching. This is something that I'm in a lot of ways uniquely qualified to do. There's a style I have when I'm coaching that is unique to me, that cannot be replicated. I can't have someone else coach on my behalf and get the same results in those same ways that I'm doing it. Now, other people can probably do it better. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that for me, this is something that is at the pinnacle point of where I'm at right now. Same thing with creating these kind of videos, public speaking, creating educational content, that sort of thing. Now, the creation of that content, of me talking through it and organizing it and things like that, those are things that are in my zone of genius. This is where I am uniquely qualified and gifted to do these things. Now, that doesn't mean the production of these videos that I'm producing, for example, are necessarily something that I should be doing. I would call the production of these videos probably more in my zone of competence, really. I mean, I don't think I'm particularly good at video editing, for example. And so finding someone else to do that is actually a big priority of mine. So I'm hoping to be able to support someone else's dreams in life and their zone of genius by doing that sort of thing. But the point is that I've realized that there are other things that I should be doing in my life that are in my zone of genius. And that is why I decided to leave the Citrix Technology Advocates program and not seek any other memberships in the technology world. Because it's my belief that other people can do that better than I can. Other people are out there that may not have been fully tapped yet. My unique gifting is finding and inspiring those people to do just that. My unique gifting is figuring out ways to help people further their careers, to elevate their lives, to inspire them to be better than they think they can be, to leave this world better than they found it. I don't know if you caught this, and I just realized that in my own speech, when I do that, you can tell I'm lit up about these kind of things. I don't get that excited about the ins and outs of technology. I don't get that excited about building servers and configuring profiles, and I just don't. There was a time I did, don't get me wrong, but I can't continue putting effort into a zone of either competence or excellence even when I know that I can put more effort and time into my zone of genius. So that is why I'm doing what I'm doing now. That is why I'm putting forth the efforts to become better at sharing my life and I struggle to say wisdom sometimes, but that's exactly what I'm trying to do here, is share the lessons I've learned in my life with you and hope that I can elevate you to that next level, to get you to live into your zone of genius. So if there's something that just excites you and lights you up and makes you uniquely qualified to do, that's what I want to see you doing. And if there's anything I can do to help you do that, please let me know. Either message me privately, leave a comment here, and I can follow up with you either way. And I would love to help you out with that any way I can. That can look at a bunch of different ways. Sometimes it's just an encouraging word. I do have openings for my coaching program as I'm recording this here in February. These are the kind of things that I can do for you. And so if you want to have a conversation about what that would look like, feel free to contact me. I'm not one of those people that is marketing oriented as far as this goes. I'm much more relationship oriented as far as that, which the translation of which is marketing could be my zone of incompetence in a lot of ways. So I'm sure I'll be looking for people that are going to help me with that at some point. But right now, I'm just focused on doing what I do and hoping it'll add value to people just like you. And so I hope this has been beneficial to you. Please leave me a message or a like, and feel free to share this video. It's quite all right. In fact, I encourage you to do so. And until next time, and whatever you're doing, make sure you try and leave this world a little better than you found it.